So let's talk about worry. Let's talk about anxiety, paranoia sometimes, doubt. That's what it is. Why do we worry? Why do we have anxiety? What's the use in it? If you could do away with all your worries, would you? Would you know how to? Just because somebody tells you don't worry doesn't mean that you're not going to worry, right? It's a little bit more complicated than that. So a buddy in the comments, shout out to Aiden, my bro, I think you're in Australia, asked, have you done a video on paranoia, or could you talk on it? I'm like, bro, paranoia is basically the same as anxiety. Talk about anxiety. I reference it a bunch, but we'll do a deep dive into anxiety and worry. But first, let's start with paranoia. What is paranoia? Paranoia, most of the time, let's say you have paranoid delusions, you're mentally ill, you're schizophrenic or bipolar, you're borderline psychotic, and you're having paranoid delusions, someone's coming for you. They're out to get me. I've been there in my most extreme manias. Yeah, eventually you start getting, it's not based in reality really, guys. It's not. Your mind is very imaginative and it's concocting all sorts of ideas, bringing them to your doorstep. And you're very willingly believing them in those moments because you're so lost in that fear. You're so busy projecting into the future all the time. And then a thought comes in about this future. Someone's coming for me. Someone's out to get me, whatever, that paranoia. Oh my God, they see through me. People oh, I can't be like how, I can't be myself because you're always paranoid of, so basically you're assuming and expecting something to happen, which it's not really grounded in reality. At least if you're gonna worry or be anxious about something, most of the time that's kind of grounded in reality a little bit, isn't it, guys? It's like, oh, I don't have money enough to pay my bills. Well, that's a very real worry. It's a very real concern. If I don't pay my bills, then there's consequences of that, right? I end up on the street. I end up not having the things that I want to have. Basic necessities, scarcity kind of shit, right? Yeah. Everybody knows those types of problems. Unless you were born with the silver spoon, you never had to worry about any of that stuff. You're busy worrying about other stuff if you're in that scenario. You're worried about propping up your ego. You're worried about propping up yourself to make yourself look a little bit more important through chasing more and more and more things and money. So there's a worry with that. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. You concoct all sorts of mental barrier ideologies that you're very willingly giving yourself to. So paranoia is just kind of like a very extreme fear. Not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be extreme. It can just be kind of like this general, just paranoid sense in the background. You're never truly comfortable with this current moment. You're never truly comfortable with this reality that's being played out all the time in front of you. So this is kind of tied to my expectations videos. I have 2 of them. And also my waiting video. And I have another video on stop suffering from anxiety and depression and all of those things, right? So I've talked about, why is it related to those? Because this is future stuff that has yet to happen, that is infiltrating your now, that is infiltrating your soul in this moment. And so when you're busy funneling, when you get used to, when you open that portal, like I say, when you're very willing to give your energy to this future and you're funneling yourself constantly that way through your mind, you're always pushing yourself into some imagined future, that's where the expectations and the waiting is happening, right? By you waiting, you're funneling your energy that way. By you expecting, you're funneling your energy that way. And then the worry comes from that same portal, because you're giving yourself to this future, which is not real. So much easier said than done. Just be present. So much easier said than done. Well, how do I do that? I don't know. In every freaking video that I do, what do I tell you? You will not root yourself in yourself. You will not vanquish this anxiety, this thing that's haunting you constantly, this projecting into the future constantly. You will not do that. unless you learn how to quiet your mind through meditation and prayer. That's it. So, class dismissed, video done. You want to get rid of your anxiety, paranoia, whatever? Sit down and meditate. Give thanks. So Jesus is like a badass, right? We know that. Very cool dude. I like him. He's my bro. What does he say about worry? He's like, what? He's like, what's the point in worrying, man? What's the point? Are you not greater than these freaking birds? Does God not provide for these birds? Do they toil? Do they store food away? Are you not greater than these birds? You're like, when I tell you guys, you are literally the most infinite fucking creature on the planet in existence. You are. The thing that separates you from the animals is that you have self-awareness and that you can think critically and that you can do consciously. That's the gift that's been bestowed on us. So of course you're provided for. So your worry arises out of not thinking that you're being provided for in some way. Oh no, my physical safety is in danger. I don't have enough of this. What are they going to say about me? All of these things are very aggressive in believing that it's going to fuck with you. The most infinite thing. Your mind has convinced you of this because you're believing your mind. You're putting your soul on it. You're believing it. You reclaim your soul in stillness. And now, what can harm you? Even if death is at your doorstep, you're not worried. Yeah, okay, you might feel a little fear, whatever, fine. But you're not busy projecting yourself into some imagined death. It's not haunting you. Do you see? Worry about it. It's like Jesus is like, what use is you worrying? Worry about the day's stuff. There's no point in worrying about tomorrow. The day has enough stuff to, he's basically saying the present moment has enough to worry about. Handle your shit in the moment. Basically, by you being in this fearful anxiety place, this paranoid, always in the future, you're basically not trusting. You don't have faith in those moments, guys, and that is doubt. So Jesus is like don't ever doubt. You don't ever have a reason to doubt. Even if this illusory reality is bringing reasons to you that you think you should doubt, laugh at it and smile and say, ha ha, devil bitch. Go fuck off with your worries. I am me, the most powerful entity in creation, a part of it. What harm could ever come to me that was not already in my path? If harm comes to you, if fucked up shit comes to you, it is meant for you to experience and learn and grow from, so that you do eventually realize these very things that we're talking about in these videos. That's all it is. And then finally you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I was worried and troubled about all of this stuff. Why are your hearts troubled? Do not let your hearts be troubled, he says, Jesus. Do not let your heart be troubled. Do not let your mind trouble your heart. Heavy shit. It's like hardcore. Very simple, but very powerful. But Jesus is telling him, don't worry, man. Like whatever, your food or your clothing or whatever, there's no point. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. And then later on, he's like, if they're going to persecute you, you have to speak. Do not worry about what you're going to say. Don't pre-plan it. Don't premeditate it. Don't be in your mind. What's going to come in, the Holy Spirit's going to give to you in the moment. It's going to flow through you the same way it flows through me in these videos, right? I'm not worried about what I'm going to say. I'm not worried about how I'm going to be. I just am. I am that I am. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that I am God. I am. But if it's I, then it's I. And if it's I, then it's this I in my mind and this I. And yeah, it's paradoxical, isn't it? What is this I? Get rid of that I. But you have to word it in some way. So yeah, we're going to use the I. There's no point in worrying. And guys, I've told you, even as you're later on the path, right? I've realized these things. It doesn't mean that I don't occasionally worry, but while I'm going through it, I am very always hyper aware of my own internal state of being and my thoughts. I'm so used to it. I'm so practiced in it that I see it as soon as it pops up. The mind brings it. The devil wants to say, hey, let's fuck with Darius. I feel like fucking with Darius, God says through the devil. I feel like fucking with him. Hey, Darius, you don't have enough money for this, do you? You don't have enough this for this, do you? It's like, yeah, I mean, like, sure, maybe if you want to objectively look at it that way, yeah, in a moment, I could say, hey, Darius, it's kind of a scarcity reality right now, bro. There's all kinds of reasons to be worried. But for me, it's like, no, I'm always provided for. There's no reason to worry. Even if you're going to lose your house and you're going to be on the fucking street, I've said this in my faith video. Even if you're going to lose all of your shit, you are still you. You still have the power to influence your life and create from there. Sometimes you have to lose everything to gain yourself, guys. It's a way better trade-off, believe me. for real. If I said, hey man, I'm going to take all of your possessions in exchange for you finding your most powerful magnetic self, your most realized self, wouldn't you do that trade? Maybe you wouldn't. Like the guy goes up to Jesus and he's like, bro, what's up, man? Like the rich guy. And he's like, I kind of, I want to follow you. Like, what's going on here, bro? And he's like, give up all your shit, donate it to the poor, and come and follow me. And that rich guy was like, uh-oh, I can't give up all of my stuff. I'm too attached to it. Jesus is like, if you're going to follow me, bro, I'm going to make you see. Oh, you better fucking believe I'm going to make you see. You're going to be watching me, the most magnetic thing on the fucking planet. How lucky you are to have Jesus in your life. You had the opportunity to follow him and you didn't. I'm not saying follow him to your death, guys, and be a martyr. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying be Christian. This shit's way more advanced than a religion ideology. I'm saying literally live it. When I tell you that his teachings are extreme and they will get you there. It's like, Darius, are you a Christian? Do you believe in Jesus? Do I need to believe in Jesus to follow his teachings? I believe in myself. I believe in God. I believe in the entity that once lived that was Jesus, that was a motherfucking badass, that transformed life around him. People don't get how hardcore that shit is. If you really follow it, it's like if you do good, before Jesus, Zoroastrianism, right? Even Judaism, that was what Jesus' conditioning was. It was all about the good. Any religion ultimately is about the good, being good. Zoroastrianism, good thoughts, good deeds. Good actions. What is it? There's three things. It's good thoughts, good words, good deeds. It's something like that. That's all it is. It's very simple, guys. But how do you align yourself with the good? That's what the righteous mind is. That's what the one of the 8-way path is, the righteous mind. Right-mindedness in Buddhism. It's all the same thing. It's always pointing back to the same thing. Righteousness for yourself, okay? In this place, there's no anxiety because you're always aligned with yourself that is guiding you intuitively in each moment. You're trusting, you have faith. There's no room for doubt in this place. And it can only ever happen right now. So the most basic advanced thing you guys have to realize in this video about vanquishing your worry and doubt is this. This is what you have to be really aware of. If you take anything from this video, I don't give a fuck about the rest of the shit. The one thing you need to take from this video is, if you are feeling fear, if you are feeling doubt, if you are feeling worry of any kind, then you're not as present as you need to be. The moment that I look at doubt, the moment that it comes in and wants to fuck with me, I become instantly present and I look at it. You're not me. Do not tempt me down that rabbit hole. I will not go there anymore. I refuse. You can even come in and make me feel all kinds of fearful and shit, heart beating out of my chest, but it has not taken me over. I am fully aware of the process of it. And it's going to act out through me, and then it's going to leave. All of these experiences, these doubts, these anxieties, they come in, and then they go. They come in, and then they go. But if you latch onto it and give it too much attention, And you're like, whoa, that one thought is hardcore. It's going to fuck me up. That one worry, that one paranoid delusion, that one anxious feeling and thought, you're going to let that take you over, and then you think it's you. I'm so anxious. I'm so worried. I am. You're not. You must separate yourself from your thoughts. You must separate yourself from your mind. And then the stillness emerges. And that's the stillness awareness that's being aware of these fearful thoughts and entities that are in you. These fractal self-constructs of the mind that are devilish in energy, that are kind of demonic, that are kind of evil. They want you to be afraid. They live through that. They perpetuate themselves through it. This negative entity that lives in all of us. We have to have it. You never vanquish it fully. The fear has to be there. It has to stay there. You don't get rid of it. You transcend it. You go beyond it. You see through it. You quiet it. So quieting the mind is. So the only thing you need to remember is, if I'm feeling fear, if I'm feeling anxious, I am not as present as I need to be. That's really all there is to it. Because fear and illusion and anxiety cannot survive in the now. The true now, guys. You're like, okay, cool. So let's do a little exercise, right? You're worried about something. You want to ask somebody out. You've been building it up. Oh no, what if they reject me? What if I ask her out and she, and so you're building up this whole death scenario in your mind. Oh no, she rejects me. You see a hot girl out, you're out one night, you're like, wow, I want to ask her out. And you just don't have the courage to bring yourself to it because the anxiety is stunting you from living, from going and doing the thing that your instinct and your intuition is pushing you towards. And so if you don't do that thing, it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. This most magnetic creature, woman, shows up in your path. She's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Every part of you wants to go and talk to her and interact with her, but you're too much of a bitch to do something about it. Why? Because you're letting some thought prevent you from yourself. How are you going to know what's going to happen unless you try? You're preventing yourself from living, from trying. So you're always going to ask, what if, do you want the rest of your life to be, I wonder what would have happened if I talked to that one girl that I thought was so amazing? Or would you rather, it's like, which is better? The possibility of rejection, the possibility of them saying no, and you going and moving on. At least there's a closure there immediately. At least you can kind of like, yeah, okay, it sucks, she rejected me, I built it up a little bit, whatever. But at least there's closure. If you don't go do the thing, it's gonna always pester you. Maybe not always, eventually you'll get over it too, right? You'll move on to someone else, whatever. I'm just saying, you'll always wonder. Well, that's what anxiety and paranoia does. It prevents you from living. What amazing things could you ascend to if you could just break through the illusion of fear that is keeping you paralyzed from living your most abundant, amazing self in any moment? And not lost in things either. Because a lot of the times it's the things that bring us, the things in life, the stuff that brings us anxiety unnecessarily. It's like you're anxious about yourself. You're anxious about the discomfort within yourself, being your authentic self. You're always kind of feeling uneasy and off. I never quite feel right. That's a constant kind of anxiety. And depression too. It's very similar, But anxiety is in the future. Anxiety is the future. This future outcome. It's always future. It's always. The past is already dead. It cannot be there. Only guilt and shame and that kind of shit exists in the past. Okay? It's like, let's say you do a crime. Let's say you murder or steal or do something nasty, supposedly. Okay? And then that person is like, oh, they're worried about, like the crime they did. They're not worried about the act itself. The act itself is already dead and gone. They might not even feel guilty about it. They're worried about getting caught. Someone might find out and then I have to face the consequences of my action. So this past deed haunts you in the current moment, creates anxiety about a future outcome of a past deed. You say something to someone, you project all these things like assumptions about what people are going to say and think about you. You're giving too much credit to other people's opinions. Am I cool? Have I made it? Am I cool enough? Have I achieved enough? Am I enough yet? And you're going to derive all kinds of anxiety from that. You're not okay with yourself. I've said many times, accept the loserness of who you are. Everyone out there, even if you're the most achieving, overachieving motherfucker, the whole world worships you, you're a celebrity, you're anything, you're still a fucking loser. You're still nothing. It is the mind. It is the mind that overinflates itself. It is the mind that creates celebrity. It is the mind that creates worship through an object. Your default state of being, your heart-centered open self. Do not let your heart be troubled. Your heart open self is automatically worshiping God. It's one with it. It is the very thing that props itself up. How could it not? It's automatically grateful. I don't have to try to worship. I don't have to try to be grateful. I am. You know, Yoda shit. There is no try, only do. Like, how fucking genius was George Lucas if he wrote that? Not like, that's an eternal truth, guys. Yoda's a badass. I love Star Wars. I love all that fantasy kind of shit, Lord of the Rings, and anything you can think of that's like fantasy. Dune, the new Dune movies, I like those too. I love all that kind of stuff because it gets you to like, oh, wow, the possibilities. You know? How beautiful, how genius, how creative to come up with something. Like The Matrix, right? To speak profound spiritual truths in a movie. And people watch it and they're like, oh yeah, like, but you don't recognize how truly powerful it is if you live it. If you really live it, if you bring it in, if you incorporate it into your daily life. You don't just kind of half-ass it, you know? There's no half-assing this. I tried to half-ass it my whole life, guys. I really did. I tried to half-ass it my whole life. And I had to finally draw the line in the sand. I'm so sick of being depressed and anxious all the time. I was so sad. And even now I feel that pain, you know? I've healed it, but it's just like, it's a grieving of a former self, you know? It's like, I was so sad. I had given up on myself so much. And I was so worried all the time, and I never needed to be. I never needed to be. I was always beautiful. I was always cool and awesome. I was always all the things that you guys are. You guys are so fucking amazing and beautiful. You don't know. You really don't know. Because you've layered up all kinds of mind shit that you're believing, these lies. You have to eliminate the lie, guys. You have to go beyond it. You have to root it in itself. You have to know how to root it. So for me, I'll give you an example, right? I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. Buddha and Jesus, they were not perfect. They weren't. Don't ever prop anybody up. Occasionally, I'll see some worry wants to come in. I'll be restless, impatient. The moment that I notice that, it might even come in and take me up for some seconds, right? Like, it'll come in, like, because I might be like distracted by something else. I might be on the internet or I might be whatever. And then I see something and then like it triggers me. It's always trying to trigger. The external is always trying to trigger your internal state of being. It's always trying to bring you out of your peace and into struggle and suffering. That's its purpose. That's why it exists that way. The moment I feel anxiety, I'm like, oh, that's bad. That's fear. I don't like it. Why are you fucking with me? Why is it trying to bring me out of this nice, good, happy place that I'm in? This blissful place? Because I've practiced so much the stillness, because I've done hours upon days, upon weeks, upon months of meditation, I can very easily, because I have that energy stored, it's like a learned thing almost, snap myself into myself. So the moment that I have fear, it might have repercussions of energies in me, and that might like live out a little bit. It might have a momentum. But the moment that I bring attention to it, and I'm like, no, here and now, I snap my mind back into itself. There's no thought. I'm just awareness now. You are having a problem if you're having anxiety and paranoia constantly, is that you're feeding too much into it, and you also have not made that you've not severed the attachment that you think your thoughts are you. So the more you practice stillness and presence through meditation and prayer, and you recognize your true voice, and you recognize the gratitude, and you recognize the stillness, the more you do that, the more practiced you become in it, the more you can very easily bring yourself into yourself in a moment if you need to. So you're not 100% of the time living in anxiety and oscillating between anxiety and depression and feeling like shit all the time, just torturing you constantly. And that's suffering. That's the suffering. Any mental attachment is ultimately suffering. Any mental attachment is ultimately going to lead to suffering. It might not be suffering right now because you're just, having a great time with that one thing that you're doing. But as soon as it's gone, which it will leave, because everything's always changing, it's waiting for you, the suffering, the loss of that thing, right? So that's the exercise, man. Get used to being present. Get used to being still. And in that place, any anxiety or depression or any kind of mental illness, anything cannot survive in that. Even if you haven't been clinically diagnosed with a mental illness, you're still mentally ill. Being attached to your thoughts and thinking that they're you, that is a form of mental illness. It's never going to be described that way in psychology, but that's exactly what it is. Eckhart talks about this. Eckhart says it's like, it is a form of insanity. It really is. It really is, guys. Because when you really realize it and you've kind of stepped back from it and you've created that space to be aware of all of it, and you are more and more and more closer to being your true self, your true authentic self all the time, then you're going to see it for what it is and you're going to be like, yeah, man, that is kind of insane. To think that this fragment, this little slice of the pie is ever me, this most magnetic, powerful, just infinite soul spark, spirit. To think that that is ever me, like I bought into that delusion, yeah, it trains you to. That's what conditioning is. You're born, the moment you're born and you're learning and you're experiencing and you're learning all of these things, you're learning how to be anxious. You're learning how to be depressed. You're taking it on. Everyone's worried. So you naturally think that's it's normal. We've normalized it. And honestly, really no need to worry. Everything's going to take care of itself. Like Jesus says, what is it going to do for you? Is it going to even add an hour to your span of life? Like what? Like I tell you guys this, it's like a fruitless, man. It's a complete waste of energy. And also not, like I've said, because that is also the suffering that if you stew in it long enough, it's going to tell you, hey man, I just don't feel good. Everyone thinks it's okay to not feel good and feel like shit all the time. It's okay to occasionally feel crappy, guys, but don't stew in it, man. Like, reclaim yourself. Reclaim the understanding of true faith. And then you don't need to doubt. There's no getting around doubt, guys. Okay? I say this is a very binary, extreme way of being, and that you have the supreme faith. Even the person that has the most faith in the world, a Jesus, occasionally has doubt. It's fleeting, though. It doesn't stay with you. It comes in and wants to tempt you. That's what he's saying. That's why he's saying, pray that you don't fall into temptation. The temptation is the doubt. The doubt is the fear and anxiety and all the negative shit. So if you stay in yourself, if you stay in your stillness, it can never overpower you. It can't. You see through it fully. So any paranoia, any anxiety, it's basically a disservice to yourself. It's a disservice to the most infinite you that you are, this most amazing person that you are. You're reducing yourself and buying into some illusory construct that you're making very real. You create, like a person that's paranoid, truly paranoid, they're making these things very real for themselves through their full attachment to a thought construct and through the inability to be truly still in this moment where life is happening. And we've normalized it. Everybody's very used to being in the past and being in the future. No one's, I mean, not no one, but most are not very used to being present, because if they were, they would see through all of the delusional shit that the mind concocts and brings up to itself. Out of itself it arises, and out of itself it recedes into itself. The root of it within us, sectioned off, compartmentalized. And the mind can be beautiful. The mind can be amazing. It brings in amazing suggestions. It has amazing discoveries sometimes, guys. But it is always the stillness, the God, the peace that is bringing those awareness, consciousness slivers to its attention so that it can be made known and realized on the level of the mind, so that we can interact physically here, so that we can have language and words and express these things, while also always being outside of language and expression. That's why sometimes, like, you see someone dance, or you see a piece of art, or a statue or a picture, or you watch a movie, some art that moves you, just expression. It's outside of words. Even the movie that is lots of words and they're talking. If you're truly aware of your stillness, you'll see how majestic of a play it is. It's almost like the words just seep into you automatically. You just automatically know them intuitively. Like if I'm speaking to you in this video as an example, is your mind sitting here registering every fucking word coming out of my mouth? No. Honestly, it's your intuition, it's your resonant heart self that is hearing the message, and then your mind is kind of coming in and labeling things occasionally. So when you see the art, it's like, oh, yeah. Life is art, guys. Life itself playing out the miracle of life. That is art. Art is just like, one fragment, one like dance or singing or acting or, drawing or painting, any art, right? How we express ourselves. It's just fragmentary expression of the whole, the beauty of the whole. A comedian is an artist. Anything where you're expressing, anything where it's fun, anything where it's, oh, I love life. I love all the expressions of life. I love it. I want to sink my teeth into it. I want to live. Anything like that's all art, man. It's beautiful. Even a spiritualist like me that speaks, this is art I'm creating, guys. It is. It's expression with some, profound spiritual truths mixed in, I guess, or whatever. How profound you find it is up to you. It's not profound just because I say so. If it, there's plenty of people I'm sure going to watch my videos are like, you're not so profound, Darius. You're full of yourself. You're arrogant. You're a cocky piece of shit. Sure, whatever. You can think that. You can think it's like all my little ego spitting this stuff out. Yeah, you could. You could draw that conclusion because that's what you see about yourself. You project your own insecurity onto me. Some guy in my last video is like, you don't even see your own contradiction. He's trying to draw me into a debate. He's like, do you know that for a fact? He doesn't even understand that, like, his whole attitude in the way he's coming across in his comment is the illusion. You're not pointing out some profound truth to me, bro. There's no gotcha with me. You're not coming in and like saying any comment that like you think you're gonna get me, and like there's like, I see it all, guys. Because all of it is mental substrata. And so when you're very rooted in mind, in self, you see the mind for what it is in all its variations, in all of its duality-based conclusions. I'm a million steps ahead of it. And so I tell you guys, that's why Jesus could see people and what they were saying because you know the mind, and you know its conclusions, and you know its jealousy and its envy, and you know it's all of its nasty shit. You're very aware of it, and you know its eventualities. It's very linear, it's very slow compared to the intuition, which just knows and sees. And the more you rest in this stillness, the more it becomes a part of you. It's much more difficult for an anxiety to come in and take you over. So I leave it up to you, right? Like, it's up to you. Will you sit down and do the work? Will you sit down and truly dedicate yourself and have this devotion and say, I'm sincerely ready to let go of all of this suffering and shit that's manifesting as depression, or in this instance, anxiety and paranoia and doubt and fear? Are you ready to let go of that? And really, because you have to be ready for it, guys. It's going to transform your life whether you like it or not. You're going to step into a whole new you. And for some people, that's a little too scary, and they'd rather stay in the ignorance a little bit. That's okay. I'm not saying ignorance, so bad. It's just the ignorance meaning not knowing, not realizing, not understanding the true understanding, the truth.